Good afternoon, students. So today we will be starting off with a question. We are going to segregate different expenses into the expenses categories that are distribution expenses, administration expenses, financial expenses, and other expenses. So we have several expenses: bad debts, advertising expenses, salaries for sales personnel, interest expenses for bank loan, electricity expenses, discounts allowed, depreciation of distribution vehicle, stationery expenses, insurance expenses, bank charges, rent payments, and losses from cash flows. So we have to classify above expenses into the categories that are given below. Categories, expenses categories given below. Distribution expenses, administration expenses, financial expenses, and other expenses. So let's take a couple of minutes and let's segregate these into different categories. So you can take a couple of minutes and then start segregating these into these four expenses categories. Okay, so we are going to start the question. So we are going to segregate, or we are going to classify these expenses given into the expenses categories of distribution expenses, administration expenses, finance expenses, and other expenses. Okay. So first we have the bad debts. Now bad debts come under what? Bad debts come under distribution expenses. Bad debts. Bad debts come under distribution expenses because the expenses that is as a result of distribution or selling of goods. Okay. Then comes the advertising expenses. Advertising expenses are also under the distribution expenses. Advertising expenses. Okay. Then salaries for sales personnel. That also come under distribution. Salaries for sales personnel. Then interest expense for bank loan. That comes under financial expenses. Interest of bank loans. Then comes the electricity expenses. Usually, electricity expenses are falling around what? Electricity expenses are falling around administration expenses. Okay. Electricity expenses. Then discounts allowed. Discounts allowed are also coming under distribution expenses. Distribution. Sorry. Discount allowed. Then comes the depreciation of distribution vehicle. Now, if it is something like depreciation of a building, it will come under administration expenses. Okay, but here, since it is the distribution vehicle, it will come under distribution expenses. Okay, so depreciation of distribution vehicle. Okay, depreciation of distribution vehicle, that is also coming under distribution expenses. Then comes the stationery expenses. Usually stationery expenses are coming under administration expenses. Stationery expenses. Then insurance expenses. Insurance expenses are also coming under administration. Insurance expenses. Right. Then comes the bank charges. Bank charges usually come under financial expenses. Bank charges. Then rent payments. Rent payments also come under administration expenses. Rent payment. Then losses from cash roads. Losses from cash roads come under other expenses. Okay. Losses from cash expenses. Okay. So this is how we distribute these expenses into different categories of distribution expenses, administration expenses, financial expenses, and other expenses. Okay. Now these things usually you have to sort of like by heart them. You have to read them. You have to by heart them. You have to remember them. Unless sometimes it might not be like very straightforward. Okay. So we already discussed about these things over the last couple of days. What are the distribution expenses? They are advertising expenses, salaries to sales employees, bad debts, discounts given, depreciation of the day, vehicles, sales, commissions, etc. Okay. Then what are the administration expenses? Rent payment, insurance payment, stationery expenses, depreciation for building, repair expenses, electricity expenses, and depreciation for equipment. Then other expenses, losses from cash roads and losses from fire. Those are the other expenses. Then financial expenses. Financial expenses are interest for bank loans, interest for overdraft facilities, and bank charges. Okay. So those things we will have to remember, unless it might not be very straightforward. Okay. Sometimes it like bad debts. Which expense category? Okay. Discounts allowed. Depreciation of vehicle. Okay. So when something like that comes, you need to remember. Now, if it is a depreciation of the building, then it will be depreciation of the building will be administration or machine. Okay, they will fall under administration expenses. But here, depreciation of distribution vehicle will come under what? It will come under distribution expenses. Okay, see this one. It is coming under distribution expenses. Okay, so those are the things that you need to remember from the last lesson we did, the different expenses. Okay, and this could be examinable. Sometimes you might be given a MCQ question. For example, let's say there could be a question like in the Banuka's business, Banuka incurred 5,000 rupees for let's say for advertising. Okay, what is the expense category of this expense? And four options could be distribution expenses, administration expenses, financial expenses, and other expenses. So you need to know, you need to figure it out. Okay, so you will have to remember this. You will have to read this and remember this. Okay, so we will be moving on to the next section. That is calculation of the net profit. Okay, calculation of net profit. Now, gross profit part we already did. Okay, now we are moving on to the net profit, calculation of net profit. Okay, study how the net profit is calculated using the given example below. The following example is obtained from the business of Thimira for the accounting period ended 31st December 2025. Okay, so they have given us a example question, and they have asked us to calculate the net profit. Okay, so this one we are not going to do anything. We will be just sort of like looking at how it is being done, and then we can see as to how it is being done. Okay. Okay. The topic is calculation of net profit for year ended 31st 12 2024. Let's say it's 2024. Okay, so they have given us a gross profit, and in this question it is being started with the gross profit. Okay, so unless if it is if the gross, now here they have given you the gross profit. Okay, here they have given you gross profit, but let's say they have not given you gross profit. Okay, then what should you do? You should include revenue. Okay, then cost of sales. Okay, then gross profit. Revenue minus cost of sales is gross profit. Okay, so here, but here straight away they have given you the gross profit. Okay, gross profit. Gross profit is 2,30,000. Okay, then we are supposed to add the other income. Okay, other income. So we are coming to the calculation of net profit. So we start with the gross profit and we add the other income. Okay, so what are the other incomes? Let's see. Discounts received. Discount received. 1 second. Discounts received. Discounts received is 12,000. Okay. Then investment income. That is also the other income. Okay. Investment income, which is 5,000. Then comes the interest income. Interest income, which is 8,000. So you will be adding them all. Okay, which is 25,000. Okay. 25,000. So you add it to the gross profit, which will be 2,55,000. Okay. Now here you have to mention it as add. I have not mentioned it. Add other income. Okay. Then less expenses. Less expenses. We have expenses categories. Distribution. Okay. Distribution expenses. So what are the distribution expenses? Salaries for salesperson. Salaries for salesperson, which is 24,000. Expenses for sales promotion is also there. Expenses for sales promotion, which is 30,000. Okay. Altogether, this will be 54,000. Then comes administration expenses. Administration expenses. Let's see what are the administration expenses. Now, insurance expense is there. Insurance expense. Insurance expense is 16,000. Okay. Then salaries administration is there. Salaries administration, which is 32,000. Okay. Then building repair expenses. Building repair expenses, which is 45,000. Okay. So altogether they will be 93,000. Now we did distribution expenses, administration expenses, and now the other expenses. Other expenses. Okay. Other expenses include what? Losses due to cash frauds. Losses from cash frauds, which is losses from cash fraud is 8,000. So you include this here, 8,000. And finally, we have financial expenses. Okay. Finally, we have financial expenses. Now there we have interest for bank loan. Interest for bank loan, which is interest for bank loan is 12,000. Okay. So altogether this will total to, let's calculate, 54,000 plus 93,000 plus 8,000 plus 12,000, which will be 1,67,000. 1,67,000. So we should deduct this. Okay. So from 2,55,000, when we deduct 1,67,000, it will be 88,000, which will be the net profit. Net profit. And we call it net profit transferred to capital account. Net profit transferred to capital account. Okay. So this is how we calculate net profit from the profit or loss statement. Okay, we start with the gross profit, and then we add the other income. Okay, then we deduct the expenses. So expenses we deduct in categories: distribution expenses, administration expenses, other expenses, financial expenses, and finally we derive the net profit. Okay, this is how we calculate the net profit of a business using a statement. Okay, so you can take a couple of minutes and complete writing this. You can write the above slide as calculation of net profit, and then you can write as study how the net profit is calculated using the example given below. And following information is obtained from the business of the Thimira for the accounting period ended 31st December 2025. And you can write this. Right. So take a couple of minutes and write it. Okay, let's move on to the next part. We already studied about the profit of. So we have already studied that the profit or loss statement should be prepared to show the operational results of the business. Okay, so why we prepare the profit and loss statement? That is simply to know the operational results of the business. Okay, and now we are going to calculate and present the gross profit and the net profit by preparing the profit and loss statement, which was studied in 2 steps above. Okay, I mean that mean in the first time we were studying about how to calculate the gross profit, okay, and how to present it on a statement, and then we studied about the net profit. Okay, so we studied about those 2 parts earlier, and now we are going to learn how to present them in a single statement. Okay, so let me zoom this out for you. Okay, now if you can see now here you may see now first it starts with the gross profit. Okay, sales minus cost of sales, so which will arrive into gross profit, and then you add the other incomes as other income, and then you deduct the other expenses. So it's more or less similar to this one. Okay, this question we did, and as I explained earlier, this gross profit part is calculated separately on the statement itself. Okay, so initially it starts with the sales and then moving on to cost of sales. Okay.